What's going on, YouTubers? It's the Natural Born Thriller, and welcome everyone to National Wrestling Alliance Review, the show from December 17th, 2019, where I give you NWA Powerrr results that was taking place in Atlanta, Georgia, at the GPB studios. Now, make sure I got that right. Yes, GPB Studios in Atlanta, Georgia. Your commentators are Joe Galley and Stu Bennett. And you also have David Mark Quinn as your ring announcer and your interviewer on the show as well. So yeah, let's get right into the show here, folks. Not a moment to lose. So this was basically the fallout and basically the aftermath of what happened with NWA Into the Fire. And by the way, please excuse the noise. You know, it's on the laundry machine, so excuse the noise for that. But yeah, just want to get that out of the way. Yeah, because you do hear noise from the background. Any other type of noise, just ignore it. So, anyways, so yeah, Joe Galley and Stu Bennett welcome everyone to NWA Powerrr. So we introduce, basically we get David Marquin introduces the new NWA National Heavyweight Champion Aaron Stevens being alongside with the question mark. And basically, Aaron Stevens gets booed as he came out, as usual. But when the question mark came out, all of a sudden, a huge pop from the crowds. And all of a sudden, Stevens talks about being a very dangerous man who has some karate training, and then the question mark coming in saying no karate, and then Aaron Stevens says he's the first American to earn a black belt, after only 3 weeks. Basically, being a three stripes, a third degree, I meant to say, a third degree black belt. And then he taunts, the crowds, for and calls himself a fantastic actor, like a Robert De Niro and Al Pacino. Basically, he literally mentioned those actors, and he runs down national champions, including the Nature Boy Ric Flair. Basically running down names, but represents the guys that hold on to that belt before him. And then he says, he will no longer be called the National Heavyweight Champion of NWA. He will now be called the National Third Degree Champion, because he's got the 3 straps to prove it too on the strap that he got based on the belt with 3, just like his third degree belt, his third degree black belt that he's wearing, because he's training karate. He's got a third degree on the strap of the national championship title. Now it's called the national. Now basically it's now called the NWA National Third Degree Championship. But in this case, by the way, and also he calls himself. He said and from now on he wants to be called Shooter Stevens. Excuse me. He now wants to be called Shooter Stevens. Shooter Stevens. Hopefully I said it right this time. Shooter Stevens. And basically, he keeps talking about we're chance to win the belt the belt, and he kept using the word belt too. By the way, he said yes. He said belt. He kept saying yes. I said belt, and he kept saying it too, like saying he said belt. I won a third degree belt. I am the NWA National third degree belt. Something like that. And I know why he did that too, by the way, because he's referencing the whole thing with WWE can't say the word belts because of Vince McMahon. Because Vince McMahon, the weird thing that he said about with regards to the championship titles, it's not called a belt, it's called a championship, because a belt is something that you wear that will hold your pants up. But at the same time, it's called a championship belt for a reason. Even Bret Hart, calls it a championship belt. And I know Vince McMahon back then wanted Bret Hart to say championship, but Bret Hart didn't care, because Bret Hart is a shooter his own, where he says, I should be going for the World Wrestling Federation Championship belt. So yeah, and Aaron Stevens, just and it was bubbling. it's basically been eating him alive all this time. Where he was not allowed to say belt. During that time in WWE when he's called Damien Sandow. So it was a lot, that he wanted to get out of his chest, on this promo that he did, and I thought that was great. He kept saying the word belt every time, just to everyone know, yeah, belt, 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 belt. So there you go. All right, so that out of the way. Coco Band came out. He basically said, you will not be champion if it wasn't for the question mark, being involved in all that, and that's how the segment ends. Also, Thunder Rosa comes out. Thunder Rosa comes out and she tells people to get up. And I see myself, oh wow, and everyone started getting up and like, wow, she's got the power to on the, she's got got them in the palm of her hands. And then I see why she did that, because all of a sudden she introduces Molina. I see myself, oh, I get it. She did that for Molina. It's not for her. It's not for Thunder Rosa. It's for Molina. And also, Ashley Fox comes out to attack Thunder Rosa from behind. Thunder Rosa fights back, obviously, because Ashley Fox couldn't, she couldn't, last, not even 2 minutes with Thunder Rosa. Thunder Rosa basically exposed her for a blindside attack. Basically trying to get payback for having into the fire. And she tried to injure her again. All of a sudden, we got Allison Kay and ODB coming out for the save, and Thunder Rosa meant to say, excuse me, and Melina ends up leaving. Then we go backstage where we see, Melina and Thunder Rosa confronting Marty Bell. Why didn't she come out to help and everything? And then Marty Bell said, "But you told me to stay back here." And it's just like, yeah, but when something like this happens, where they're about to be attacked, you need to come out. It's called common sense, and all that, right? Whatever. And basically, they start questioning, but basically Melina, they start questioning, if Marty Bell is even good enough to be part of this, of this group. And then Thunder Rosa gives her a stare down, and then they leave Marty Bell. Marty Bell looks confused and upset and everything. So I guess they're already they're going to get rid of Marty Bell away from that group. And you guys think to yourself, how stupid does she look? After betraying her friend Allison Kay, and then all of a sudden now Allison Kay is going to be doing this whole thing where, oh, you come crawling back here, huh? After what you did, you betrayed me and everything. You think I'm gonna give you a second chance? I'd love to see how that turns out. If that were to happen, but I digress. But there you go. All right, next we get to Galley and Bennett on commentary talking about the tournament where it pertains to the crowning the NWA World TV Championship title, which it had been reborn once again and be reintroduced back into the Fire pay-per-view. So they're going to do a tournament, and I knew they were going to do that too. By the way, I was wondering if they were going to do a tournament. I don't remember if I mentioned it during my review of Into the Fire, but basically, I'll think to myself, they need to do a tournament, to decide who's going to become the NWA World Television Champion, and sure enough, that's what they're doing. So what they did right here is they did a 3-way match to determine who's going to be in the qualify into this tournament. So the participants were, it was Sal Rinouro. Okay, Sal Rinouro. I think that's how you say his name. I could be wrong, but okay, let me try again. Sal Rinouro. Sal Rinouro. I think that's supposed to say his name. I'm assuming. A familiar face I see here, C.W. Anderson. And I didn't know he was in his 50s. And I see myself, wow, I thought he was in his 40s, but after finding out he was in his 50s and he still was good at his age, I'm like, wow, and he's still wrestling too. Yeah, that's that Steamer was in WWE. Basically all with the brand of of the WWE's version of ECW. And then you have some guy named Ziggy Dice, which he had a unique look. He also has a no school look too. He's got some tattoos on him too as well. But he's an old school wrestler. He's got an old school style, and I like it. Ziggy Dice is his name, and I forgot what was supposed to be. Outlantis. I think how how he kept saying too, by the way, in the match too as well. Not even in the match, but also before the match. Uh, Atlantis, Atlantis Ziggy, Atlantis Ziggy Dice or Ziggy Dice. Meant to say Atlantis Ziggy Dice. There we go. So the match happens. Didn't last that long, but I thought it was decent. And then Atlantis Ziggy Dice wins the match. And I was actually going for CW Anderson to win here, but hey, I'll take Ziggy Dice. I'll see what so yeah, I thought three guys are looking pretty impressive in the match. No to say about that. But after the match, you have David R. Marquez. He basically interviews Ziggy Dice, and he says no. He says basically let him know no, it's not Ziggy Dice, it's Atlantis Ziggy Dice. And it basically says he's in NWA because everyone is looking for at the future World TV champion. All of a sudden, the Dawsons comes out. They interrupt him, and basically that's when the interview ended for Ziggy Dice, and he leaves. And the Dawsons are basically saying there's a conspiracy going on, like what James Storm has been saying all for the past few weeks or months, whatever. And basically says something about what pertains to the wild cards, promising them opportunities and all that, and money and everything, but never live up to it. And then they want to expose something what pertains to the to something that the wild cards were up to, whatever. All of a sudden, the wild card comes out with steel chairs, and they basically just wait the Dawsons. But we get to more of that later on, and we'll get to that. We get to to a Marty Scurll promo that was interviewed by David Marquez, and that was basically back when Into the Fire went off the air, where basically it was Marty Scurll, the villain, Marty Scurll, cuts a promo saying that everyone is asking about where he's going to be ending up, because now Marty Scurll, he's a free agent. He doesn't work for Ring of Honor anymore. No longer working for the company. No longer on the contract. Marty Scurll is free to go wherever the hell he wants. If he wants to go to MLW, he could. If he wants to go to NWA, which that's where he ends up being, he could. If he wants to go to Impact Wrestling to do what to do whatever he wants to do from there, he could. If he wants to go to do something in New Japan, he could. He could basically go wherever the hell he wants. Until he decides to really go where he really wants to go, and I'm pretty sure he should if you want to look at it, I think he is going to end up in AEW pretty soon, because I really don't want to see him going to WWE. So, and another thing too, I know WWE wanted Marty Scurll in WWE, but what they're gonna do with him once he goes to NXT? He's going to just be another guy going to the main roster, but they don't know what to do with him. Like, they're not going to think about what they're going to do with him because he's a small guy. And why would they want to get this guy? Just because he's popular in outside of the company, and he's getting that make a star reaction that sees him wherever I'm sure he goes to. And what they're going to do with that type of talent once he gets there? Absolutely nothing. So, but anyways, Marty Scurll, his promo himself. People are asking him where he's ending up, where he's going. He says no one tells him what to bloody do or where to go and everything. He goes wherever the hell he wants, and he says, as for now, he's in NWA and he wants to become world champion. So he wants to seek out on the national treasure, who is the NWA world champion, in Nick Aldis. They had a match before, and he wants to have a match again with him again. And I'm pretty sure it's gonna happen at Hard Times, what pertains to the next pay-per-view, and on coming January. And there you go. It was a good promo there from Marty Scurll. Marty Scurll, he's a very good talker. I know Mike, you're gonna hear the villain Marty Scurll talk about something that he wants to talk about. No matter how much of a villain he is, especially the villain effect, when you chance to him, hear him cut a promo about what he's got to say, and he delivers very well. And he wants to shot the NWA World Title, and he wants to become the world champion in NWA. But we're not done yet with Marty Scurll, because he ends up being interviewed later on with Stu Bennett. We'll get to that. All right, next we get to Eddie Kingston. He ends up being on commentary with Galley and Bennett, and basically they ask about what's going on with Homicide, and then Kingston says he's fine, and there you go. That's the update. He's fine. He basically refused to give any more answers. Clearly, he just to observe the match, which pertains to the Rock and Roll Express and Ricky Morton and Robert Gibson versus some guys named Zach Mosley and Sean Sim. Match ended shortly with Rock and Roll Express winning. That's basically it. After the match, Joe Galley interviews the Rock and Roll Express, and when I say interview the Rock and Roll Express, I mean basically Ricky Morton did all the talking. Robert Gibson just stands there and just looks pretty, I guess. But basically, Rock and Roll Express, basically Ricky Morton, he talks about they are former tag champs, like the Four Horsemen, like Dusty Rhodes and MTA. I mean, Dusty Rhodes and Magnum TA, excuse me, and the Midnight Express, and say that it's an honor to share all those tag teams. And then also he starts asking about basically Galley asks about routines of Nick Aldis, and then Marley says to Nick Aldis, says he's got a lot to prove if he wants to be called a great champion like guys before him. So guys like a Hardy Race and all that. So basically running names like Ric Flair, Dusty Rhodes, Hardy Race, and all that. And he's right. I agree. He's got a long way to go before he has become a big name and a megastar like a Ric Flair, a Hardy Race, and Dusty Rhodes. So, and also the Dawson comes out again, and they try to expose once again the secret, this whole conspiracy theory. The wild card comes out again, and this led to a match with the wild cards versus the Dawsons. Ends up being a decent match where the wild cards win the match, and that was it. Nothing else to say about that. And then the wild cards were interviewed by David Marquez, excuse me, where basically the wild cards were saying they're telling a bunch of lies and everything, and then that's what you get sent to a hospital, and that was basically it. Other than that, nothing to say about that, and they leave and they walk out angrily. Also, we get James Storm being interviewed. This is from after the pay-per-view from Into the Fire. That basically we cut to a segment where they show an interview that James Storm was cutting after Into the Fire was off the air. He says that in due time he'll get his due justice. Basically, he talks about how the conspiracy continues on again, where it pertains to James Storm berates Nick Aldis of illegally exposing the turnbuckle, and then with the turnbuckle being the effect of James Storm losing the match, and then with Tim Storm being the referee in the match too as well, and because the original referee was taken out by which is Brian Hebner, and basically James Storm was pissed off, and I love the promo. The promo was pretty damn good. It was very passionate, and it feel like he needs that justice to be just deserved, and hopefully he'll get that pretty soon. And hopefully he does become world champion in the NWA. I still want him to become the next NWA world champion. All right, so then we get to David Marquez. He introduced the participants for who's going to be in the World Television Championship tournament, where it pertains to one of them, Ziggy Dice, who's already out there. And here are the participants. So far, you got Atlantis, Ziggy Dice. You have Ricky Starks, Colt Boo Boo Cabana, Trevor Murdoch, Tom Laminer. Yeah, Tom Laminer is going to be part of it, from the wild cards, and also formerly known as Bram. So Thomas Laminer, the question mark, Eddie Kingston, Tim Storm, the Dawsons, both of the Dawsons, Zane and Dave, and the NWA World Champion Nick Aldis. Huh? no James Storm, no Eli Drake, but Nick Aldis, the world champion, who's already a champion in the NWA. And I see myself, oh, why? But I'll get to why once I get to that promo. But also we got, they introduced someone, made an appearance there. Nikita Koloff. Nikita Koloff, who was known as the Russian Nightmare, which by the way he's not really Russian people, by the way. Back then, they betrayed him as a Russian, but he wasn't really he's not really Russian. But anyways, but yeah, Nikita Koloff, a legend in the wrestling business back in the days of NWA, who's a former NWA World Television Champion. And I think he was also a former World Television. I think he's also a former NWA United States Champion too as well. I could be wrong, but I could swear he was. But anyways, but he got a big pop, and he's excited to see who will carry the belts. This belt, to where it should be. And also they start picking names out of the bowl. Oh, who's gonna be basically the first matchups? It's Ricky Starks versus Eddie Kingston. And then there's one with let's see. Remember, oh yeah, the second matchup is going to be Boom Cabana versus the question mark. And that was basically it for that for now until next time. But then also we get to Nick Aldis being interviewed by David Marquez, and basically he states, if you're going to knock me off from the top of this company, you are going to have to prove it. Prove yourself committed the same way I have, and says that he and this is why he entered into the tournament because he's already beating everyone that came across him, that came in front of him, what chance to for the world title. And then he talks about Ricky Starks, who's standing next to him, saying that Ricky Starks could be that guy, that could who I could meet in the finals, and some like Ricky Starks could, who could be the guy to lose against Nick Aldis. But we'll try a good effort and all that, but was but I don't know. And then he talks about Marty Scurll, we're saying to him, stepping onto his business, and he's a little sick and tired of it. We're saying to all these business we're saying to Marty Scurll. And also, you also had David Marquez. He talks about do you have any comments about Ricky Morton's comments? And he says he didn't really see he didn't really heard about his comments or see his promo. Basically, he will look back at it, and then he brings up Camille, and he's unhappy. Nicholas becomes unhappy, and he says, Nick basically says that Camille is no longer his insurance policy, and he has plans of building a team in the further future, and we'll get to more of that later. Yeah, that was it, and that was basically his reason why he's in the tournament, because he wants to to see if anyone can prove themselves, if they can beat Nick Aldis in this tournament. So there you go. Still doesn't make any sense why he's in the tournament, in my opinion, but I guess that's the reasoning for us to buy into it, but whatever. All right, now we get to Stu Bennett interviewing Marty Scurll. Marty Scurll says he hopes to be himself and stand out. And basically, Marty Scurll also talks about he had a taste of it, which is going at Nick Aldis for the title at the Crockett Cup, which was this past year, and he came back for more. He wants to know, how to put importance on the title matches, and what way to do it, and to have a showdown with Nick Aldis once again. And he wants to become world champion, and what better way to do it is in here in NWA to get that 10 pounds of gold. So yeah, Marty Scurll once again, he's really determined to become the next NWA World Champion, and we'll see what happens with that. I don't think he's going to win the belt, because I think he's going elsewhere. But hey, this NWA is a good fit for him, but I think he wants to be in a bigger platform, and I think that bigger platform is in AEW in the somewhere down the line. But other than that, Briscoe is here. He wants to challenge against Nick Aldis. That is eventually going to happen. We'll see how that turns out. But I'm intrigued. Let's see where they go with this. It's gonna be amazing. By the way, Robert and basically and maybe closes up with pertains to Marty Skrull. Marty Skrull, what pertains to him, being an NWA, NWA, again all this talk that he's in NWA to get a shot against Nick Aldis for the title. It is indeed the villain effect, or the villain effect to say the least. All right, so I want to mention this. Pertains to the rule. There's basically was explained some rules about the NWA World Television Title match. Where pertains to the qualifying. I can't remember how they said it, but or how it was it was said. But basically, Stu Bennett explained on commentary how the rules was going to be applied. Okay, here it is. Where pertains to the whole tournament thing. Or I think, or in a way, it was probably the qualifying, where it was a good example of it, where each match will only be 6 minutes and 5 seconds long. Yeah, basically going with the whole 6:05 time for their weekly shows on YouTube and Facebook of NWA Powerrr. So yeah, which I like. But yeah, basically they said if competitors goes over that limit, they will be eliminated from the tournament. Now I'm assuming that's supposed to be it pertains to in the tournament, pertains to where it pertains to to the matchups that we're going to be seeing pretty soon. It's the qualifying match, because I don't think it was displayed. I think it was displayed at one point with that. I could be wrong, but don't quote me. Don't quote me on that one. But basically that's what I want to come across with. So okay, now we get to the promo of Eli Drake being interviewed by David Marquez. So Eli Drake cuts a promo where his voice was damaged because of Mr. Anderson back in Into the Fire, where Mr. Anderson is talking like this. Let me talk to you. He thinks it's funny that he wasn't involved in the TV title tournament, and calls Mr. And then he calls Mr. Anderson is a speed bump and looks forward to putting this feud in a rear view mirror. And that's not an insult. That is just a fact of life. Basically, that's basically how he sounded like, because his voice was still damaged from that, because of what Mr. Anderson did to him. So Mr. Anderson comes out, and they have Eli Drake versus Mr. Anderson in a no DQ match. And this no DQ match, it was outside the ring. It was into the crowd. It was on the railings. They for all the place in the studios, and they back into the ring. Anderson trying to use the chair again to damage more his throat again, his voice cord again. Electric blocks it though, and then he ends up firing back, and then he's going to steal a chair, and he's like, you know what, I'm going to steal a chair. I could take you out. But I'll need a steel chair. And basically hits the gravy train and gets the win. So your winner, Eli Drake, and that's not an insult to Mr. Anderson. That is just a fact of life. But there you go. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention this too. During this match, we have Tim Storm on commentary. Tim Storm was on commentary, represents being with Stu Bennett and Joe Galli. And basically, Stu Bennett asks Tim Storm how he feels about Nick Aldis and Marty Skrull. And then Storm says that that Marty Skrull deserves a rematch, and it's because a caliber star of Marty Skrull is well deserved. So why was that important? I'll tell you why. So also, when Drake leaves the ring, he goes to go back. All of a sudden, Nick Aldis passes by him, and also he confronts Tim Storm and he yells at him, saying, "Yo, don't ever bring up my name and all that, and don't bring up Marty Skrull and into my business." Basically, it was not his place to be, that. And then Tim Storm was trying to calm him down. Like it's just an opinion of that. It's just it was just something they thought of. And then also Nick Aldis didn't want to hear any of it, and also Tim Storm didn't want to hear any of it either. Tim Storm challenges him to a fight in the ring. So Nick Aldis, and Tim Storm are in the ring. They get ready to fight. All of a sudden, the wild card comes out and attacks Tim Storm as Nick Aldis watches on. And all of a sudden, Camille comes out and confronts Nick Aldis, pushes him. Then she turns around and spears Tim Storm. And she puts a boost in him. And basically, they all start jumping him. And all of a sudden, Camille kisses Thomas Latimer. Because, for those who don't know, Camille and Thomas Latimer are real life couples, and now they're exploiting that on NWA Powerrr. They're using that as a storyline now. Their real life relationship is now their storyline relationship. So Nick Aldis is laughing along with the wild cards and Camille standing over Tim Storm. So there's a new faction, and there you go. That's how the show went off the air. Wow, what a way to to start something new here. Pertains to NWA into the NWA Powerrr after their pay-per-view of Into the Fire. I loved it. I love the show here. I thought they did an amazing job here. So there you go. Now we get to the Toma Wrestling. Pertains to NWA Powerrr, the show from December 17th, 2019. Four matches. And my overall rating for the show, I'm gonna go with 8 out of 10. Good show. Love the show. The show really did deliver of everything that they wanted to move forward to. It did a very good job at this, and I could be more happier watching this show. And if more weeks to come, I can't wait to see how they build up the next pay-per-view called NWA Hard Times. So there you go. So yeah, that's what I gotta say. And that being said, thank you all for watching for It's the Natural Born Thriller, or in this case, the Natural Born Alliance, saying peace on the streets. For this was your National Wrestling Alliance review, where it pertains to giving you NWA Powerrr results for December 17th, 2019. Until next time, we're just to the National Wrestling Alliance review, folks. You'll take care, and I'm out.